All right, bipartisan pressure is building to crack down on China for buying up American farmland.
According to the Department of Agriculture report, China owns nearly $2 billion worth of acreage and real estate.
So why is it important to soil China's buying power, they might ask? Let's ask former State Department spokesperson Morgan Ortagus. Morgan, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, guys.
We're so happy to have you.
It's nice to be here in person, and congratulations, Rachel. No one deserves this more than you.
Oh, you're so sweet. And congratulations on your beautiful baby. I know it's the first time I've seen you since COVID. So.
I'm getting the baby weight off. It's getting there.
You look amazing. Stop.
But I got to ask this, though. Yeah. Why is China buying up so much farmland, and what can we do about it?
So China has two things. We have two things that China doesn't: energy security and food security. They've got a lot of people to feed. So in July, the beginning of July, it was the 100-year anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party. And so they were buying a lot of pork, reportedly a lot of soybeans from the United States, which are historically things that they buy from us. But when you look at China's ambitions around the world, they have a lot of people, a very big country. So they're always looking for, especially in the developing world, even more than in the United States, Africa, Latin America, they are looking for where can we meet our energy demands and where can we meet our food security demands for all these people. And because they buy so much pork and other agriculture goods from the United States, they're looking here as well.
Morgan, I asked this out of pure curiosity.
Yeah.
China's a massive country with huge geographical footprint. They have a lot of land.
Yeah.
Why do they need American farms?
Well, that's a very good question. They also have a lot of mouths to feed as well, and most of the people in China are in the very, very large urban cities that dwarf even New York City. Some of the mid-tier cities do. So remember, from the perspective of the Chinese as well, they've been very smart about buying up things that are strategic to their national security and our national security. So think about semiconductors. We all know that it's very hard to go buy an automobile right now, right, because of the semiconductor issue. Rare earths, rare minerals, all of these things the Chinese have been incredibly strategic about purchasing. And that's why we have something, not to be too wonky, but we have something called CFIUS, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. My husband actually sat on that committee for a while. And I think what Congress may need to do, and what some of our federal agencies might need to do, is to look at some of these farm purchases in the United States. Maybe this stuff is now a national security issue, right? If the Chinese have the ability to turn off our spigot, our food supply, then that now becomes a national security issue and should be before CFIUS.
And that's kind of the question that I'm getting at. As much as about their own food supply, which they seem to have the ability to produce for themselves, is it ultimately about not helping them but hurting us?
Yeah. I think it's a combination of both. I think you've hit the nail on the head.
And has this been on the radar for CFIUS, for example, for a while now? I mean, and also, do the farmers who are selling their land, do they know they're selling it to the Chinese, or is there some, umbrella, some other name that they think they're selling it to somebody else, but it's actually the Chinese? Because I know there's a lot of farming patriots that might not sell it if they knew it was going to the Chinese.
Yeah, totally. So I think, Rachel, you're asking a really important question, which is how do we marry the national security apparatus in the country that understands some of these bigger long-term threats from China with the private sector? And I think people are waking up, certainly thanks to President Trump. Over the past 5 years, people have woken up to the Chinese Communist Party and the threat that they face to the international order. But I don't know that the entire private sector has, right? You have Nike, which their CEO has still been very blatant about being in China, and many American companies which did not, speak out against the genocide or the forced labor in Xinjiang. We really, when I was at the State Department under Mike Pompeo, we decided to really speak out against this forced labor and make it an issue. Like, you don't get to, speak out against the things that you don't agree with in the United States and then have slaves making your shoes or making your cars or making whatever product that you sell in China. It doesn't work that way. So that issue is starting to change, but I think that people, whether you're a farmer, whether you're a banker down the street here, people have to start thinking more strategically about what is in the best interest of American national security when it comes to doing business with China. I'm not saying don't do business there. Plenty of big American companies trade.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think we're at one of those moments where you have to just decide who the home team is?
Yeah.
I I tend to agree with you. I think that I know a lot of small business people that actually do trade as well. And if you can diversify outside of China, and I've written an article on this, I think you need to start looking at investment in China the same way that you would look at diversity, equity, inclusion in the United States, right? And so, if you can diversify, if you can sell to Taiwan, Vietnam, if you could go outside China, I would do it.
Or change the supply chain, which is something Trump tried to do.
That's right.
Or
Disrupt it.
Or right here. That works.
Morgan, you're awesome. Thanks for
Morgan.
joining us.
Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate it.